Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with the daily technical update. It is Friday the 11th of July. This video is for educational purposes only. There's no advice or recommendation whatsoever intended. And today we'll start with Tesla. I know we talked about Tesla many times, but it's an interesting stock to trade. Couple of days ago we talked about it where it was below the 100 moving average that is declining. But it is still in the cloud here, so it's kind of in a neutral. It was below the rising trend line, and now it seems to bounce. Yesterday it closed well back above the 100 moving average, testing this rising trend line there from the underside. So that will be key towards the next few days, today and in next week. What will happen? The 200 and the 55 moving average, they are both rising. So let's see, we could see a bounce. If it moves back above those two moving averages, well then uptrend could resume, and I think it will do that if we just add a horizontal line to there, close above 318.45, then the uptrend is likely to resume. But we're still negative sentiment. But on the other hand, we bounced off the 40 threshold here. So let's see. However, if it takes out that low there from a few days ago, and I will actually put in this one, 288.77, so 75, let's say they close below, downtrend is in play. It also affects the Nasdaq 100, of course, but Nasdaq 100 was more or less unchanged, just a tad lower yesterday. It seems a bit stretched. We have RSI divergence, meaning we are in an uptrend exhaustion mode at the moment for Nasdaq 100, but I don't have a top and reversal in place just yet. Here pre-market 0.4% lower, so maybe we will see a little bit of a correction. If we check out the S&P 500 here, it is also beginning to look like a little bit of stress. Let's see, it closed there at 6,280 and a bit. Here the other day 6,279. So we actually had a higher close, and now we also have divergence here on the RSI. You can see on the the value yesterday was lower than here, so also a little bit of uptrend exhaustion. Could be a correction looming. Let's see. The Dow Jones didn't close higher, so no divergence there, but if it does close higher, the RSI will not close higher. So we are in a little bit of a bullish trend exhaustion at the moment. In Asia session, we had the Hang Seng yesterday bounced from the support at 23,827 and continued to bounce this morning here. And I think it will resume uptrend, and especially if we can get the RSI to close back above 60 threshold, then I think we'll see the previous peak here being tested and possibly broken. Nikkei more or less unchanged in this sideways corrective move here. Still positive sentiment, no RSI divergence indicating likely higher levels, but we are still in a correction. I want to see it push higher, and I think that if we it could be an indication if we close above 40,120, that uptrend is likely to resume. In European session, just open here, EuroStoxx50 yesterday got rejected at the peak here, and spiked a little bit higher, about 4,471. If it takes out that, well, then bullish the trend has resumed. There is positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence indicating likely higher levels, but a little bit of a setback seems to playing out, possibly because this terrorist thing is now concerning the market again. So setting back here, testing 5,400, just very close to. Could set back to these support area here around 5,345, but we are still in a bullish trend. DAX also sellers took control from the opening yesterday and sold out through the session. Now here we open a little bit lower again, so we are in a little bit of corrective phase, but positive sentiment on the RSI actually indicating likely high levels. But let's see if this tariff thing can concern the market even more and setting back a little bit more. If it takes out the peak from yesterday, a bullish trend is back in play. Euro dollar still in this corrective mode here, sliding slowly lower, could still dip down to the 61.8 and testing this rising trend line here. I still think it will push higher, but for now it was just slowly sliding a little bit lower. So it's so keep an eye on this trend line, and possibly 115.90 level could dip a little bit but lower if it takes out the rising trend line. Sterling dollar still above this 135.20, 61.8 retracement there. If it takes it out, well, then we are looking at levels down here where we have the 55 giving a little bit of support, and the 786 retracement at 134.48, and also the cloud, of course. Euro sterling still in this sideways range here, so 85.95 and 86.70 to be observed. Dollar yen, well, dollar yen is that has been dancing around the support resistance area here at 146.30. Seems to now really pushing higher. If it closes around these levels, and if RSI closes back above 60 threshold, well, then I think we will see dollar yen 148.65 resistance, possibly up to the 200 moving average. Euro yen is in a little bit of a see here we have exhaustion mode. We have the RSI declining, so we are a little bit stressed. Could still push up to around 173. I think if it takes out the lows today, well, then we will see a correction to around 168.45 level. Aussie yen really pushing higher here towards 97.30 resistance, and the 138.2 projection in this area here. I think we'll see that push fairly soon. Could push up to around 98, which is the 161.8 projection of this corrective mode here. Sterling yen still in an uptrend in this rising channel here. I think if it takes out the lows today, then also we test of the lower rising trend line there. There's some resistance here just below 200, and we are a little bit stressed at the moment, but seems the yen is the one moving at the moment. Aussie dollar, well, trying to push higher, and it does have potential to push to 66.30 or even up to 66.80, 67. Still in bullish trend, positive sentiment indicating higher levels. Dollar Canada, oops, let's just get it up there. Spiked higher this early morning, almost up to the 786 retracement, 137.45. Again, I would say if it takes out, and this is very short term, if it takes out 136.35, I know it says 136.38, but I always add or subtract a little bit, then a downtrend is likely to resume. There's still bouncing potential. If it takes out the peak from today, then we could see it all the way up to 138. Sterling Canada, range bound, I would say, between 186.50 and 185. Euro Swiss still 93 support just below here, tad below key to observe, and the RSI 40 key. I think it will break it lower with the below the cloud, below all moving averages, which are all declining, and we actually do have bearish or negative sentiment on the RSI. So I think we will see a push lower for Euro Swiss. And dollar Swiss actually trading sideways here, just below 80. If it breaks below above 80, sorry, the upper falling trend line likely to be tested. We could see a push up to the 61.8 retracement at 84. If it takes out the lows here from earlier this month, well, then I think we'll see it down to 77.70. And the dollar index, almost the same picture. It bounced to the 50 retracement just below the resistance there. I think we'll move this one. There could be a bouncing potential to 97.86, possibly maybe even up to 98.37. If it starts sliding lower, and I think below the lows from yesterday, it could resume downtrend, but it will only be confirmed if it breaks below and closes below 96. Gold, well, hovering around the 55 moving average, above the rising trend line there. 32.45 still key support and key resistance 3400. The silver is currently flirting with the peak and resistance here around 37.32. Could be breaking it. It's spiked above and close above. Well, then there's potential much higher towards see we are here 37.53 towards 40 levels. So it seems fairly strong at the moment. The platinum still in this sideways range here, 13.22 key support and 14.37 resistance. If it takes out the support there, well, then we could be looking at the 12.60. Copper, that has been really volatile lately, still a bit sliding a little bit back here this morning. Still positive sentiment and no divergence on the RSI, indicating likely higher levels. And if we're looking at the weekly, we can also see it is in a bullish trend, higher highs and higher lows and so on. So there is potential higher for copper in the coming weeks. And these tariffs shenanigans is ongoing. So we could set back a little bit. If it takes out 542, then 531. But we're still in a bullish trend, so be careful if you're trading copper. Then we have WTI crude oil got rejected here just below the 38.2 retracement. It's actually the 200 moving average that seems to be too strong to really penetrate. Spiked above a couple of times. Could see it setting back to around 65. If it takes out 64, well, then we have a bearish situation. If it takes out these peaks here from the past few days, well, then there's potential higher towards 71, 72. But for now, the 200 moving average too strong to penetrate. Brent Crude didn't even get up there. Rejected here at 70.41 resistance. Also setting back 66.34 is the key support to observe. European nat gas still in this bouncing mode, could still crawl up to the 38.2, but the 55 is giving it a hard time, and the lower part of the cloud, as we can see, so 36, 38, likely to be rejected if it gets up there, because we have the 100 moving average also coming down. The US nat gas, well, bounced strongly yesterday. With this strong move here, buyers from more or less from the get-go could push a little bit higher, but we are in a bearish trend. If it takes out a free spot 10, then downtrend has been further confirmed. US 10-year Treasury yields, well, hovering around we have the declining 100, we have the 55 that is slightly declining, and the 200 that is pushing higher. So we are it's caught here in crossfire, so to speak, between all these moving averages, just below 440, around 430. I think what I will do, I will add a horizontal line and say, okay, if it takes out the lows there at 432, then downtrend is likely to resume. Uptrend 443 to the upside, and if it closes above the cloud, then uptrend towards 453, possibly higher. So really a battle going on there, and it could go on like that for a few days. On the European 10-year, slowly crawling higher towards 270, 55 moving average rising, positive sentiment indicating likely higher levels. UK seems to be stuck here between 455 and 4, just below 470, 468, and I think we could be stuck there for a little bit. Still a negative sentiment on the RSI, but 55 moving average giving it a bit of support there. Bitcoin, new all-time highs, again reached 161.8 projection at 118 and a bit, and I think it could push higher here above 120,000 in the coming days. A little bit stretched, but there's no divergence, so there is potential higher for Bitcoin. Also Ethereum, there's room up to around 3,200 here short term, and let's see if we just we can see some resistance here in the region, but then we are up here around 3,400 in this region over here. So a strong bullish move on the cryptos at the moment. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice weekend and talk to you again Monday.